Thank you for joining us on Arabian Business TV, Kelly. My first question is, with Qatar being successful with their World Cup bid 2022, do you think that the Gulf states might be able to host an Olympic Games?
I think Qatar's successful bid has now put the Gulf states on the map in terms of hosting world standard championships. The World Cup is big. So if they can pull that off, I think that will give them a good grounding to then have a look at what they could do in the future. I mean, hosting Olympics, of course, is just the pinnacle of sport, and you have to get it right. They are such a progressive country that I think that definitely in the future you could see an Olympic Games coming somewhere like that.
Obviously, with Qatar in 2022, they're going to have the infrastructure in place to be able to host the World Cup. Do you think that increases their chances of perhaps hosting an Olympic Games?
I definitely think that once a country can host something like a World Cup, and as big as that, it brings in the infrastructure, of course, but it also really puts you on the map for hosting such a big event, and that's the key. You know, it's one thing hosting an event, but the World Cup is massive, and if they get that right, then people will then see them as credible people to put into a bid post-2022, and we'll see what happens.
Moving on to the British Olympics, how do you think that the British teams are shaping up for next year?
Yeah, in the UK, there's been a huge amount of financial input into our sports teams, preparing, of course, for 2012. You know, we set our marker from Beijing by coming fourth on the medal table, and whether that was right or not at that time, I think, you know, to host the games in your country is just an amazing thing. But the expectation and the performance hopefully will then raise the bar as well. So every single sport knows what's expected of them, and every single athlete that's preparing for those champs wants to do the best. So I think we're going to see some outstanding performances, but mostly the games will just be, I think, blow people away.
Any of those outstanding performances, can you give me any names as to who you think might be potential gold medalists?
I always get asked to to give names of people that I think are going to do great. The difficulty with that is that, firstly, you've got to make sure they're in the team. No one actually has been selected for the 2012 Games as we speak, because most selections were in the year of competition. So that's one of the reasons why you don't want to put too much expectation. However, there are some really good up-and-coming young people that I think, given the right opportunity and hopefully the right growth, they will continue. We have a young boy who's called Tom Daley, who's a diver. Now, whether 2012 is the right platform for him at his age, I don't know, but he has really established himself as a great kid from a young age and transitioned into seniors, got his head on the shoulders, and if there's anyone that could make the mark and certainly medal, I think it would be him. I have some of my own athletes. I have a mentoring education program called On Camp with Kelly. I've been mentoring some girls for 7 years now, and there's a couple of girls in there that I have no doubt they will get in the team. I wouldn't put any more expectation on them, and I'm not even going to say their name, but if they get there, then it will be amazing. And then, of course, we have established athletes like Rebecca Adlington, fantastic swimmer, won 2 gold medals in Beijing. Chris Hoy is a 3-time Olympian and Olympic champion from cycling. So within each of our sports, we have some really good and established people. Taekwondo, we have a young girl who I think can do really well. So, watch this space.
What's your role going to be in the Olympics next year?
I am going to be one of the ambassadors for the actual British team, and one of the mentors as such. So the team will consist of those that are established athletes and those that are up and coming. And to go to an Olympic Games on your first ever time is so overwhelming. Honestly, you go to a championships which might be your world championships of your sport, but it is nothing compared to an Olympic Games. And if myself and the likes of Sir Steve Redgrave, who won 5 gold medals, Tennegae Thompson, people like that can actually pass on their experience, and when we're actually right in the middle of the games, keep them level-headed and make them realise that fundamentally it's just another champs, then hopefully they will reach their full potential. So I'm really looking forward to being involved.
Do you think there's more pressure on them because they're going to be competing in their own country as well?
There's a whole heap of pressure. You know, there's more sponsors that have got involved. There's more focus on athletes that would never ever have got the focus before. A lot of media attention. Expectations will be high because of performance levels that we need to get in Britain. But equally, as an athlete, you put the pressure on yourself. You want to perform as much as everybody else wants to. And I think that's the key. We go out there. You're not going out there to just take part. You're going out there to really produce the best results you can. And so that's added pressure from your own sense. You know, you have it in your home country, your family, your friends get to come and see, which they might not do if it's abroad, you know, and the world's eyes are on you. So how can it not be pressure? But saying that, to actually compete in your country must be an amazing, amazing experience.